Air travel, a marvel of modern engineering, hinges on an unwavering pillar safety. Passengers place their lives in the hands of airlines, trusting in a system designed to mitigate risks and ensure safe passage. This implicit contract, this sacred promise, underpins the very existence of commercial aviation. When incidents occur, they send shockwaves through the industry, shaking the foundations of that trust. Recently, Japan Airlines, a company long revered for its stellar safety record, found itself under intense scrutiny. A series of incidents, ranging from minor to potentially catastrophic, raised red flags and triggered a wave of concern among regulators, passengers, and the aviation community at large. These incidents, though seemingly isolated, painted a concerning picture, prompting a swift and decisive response from Japan's Ministry of Land, Infrastructure, Transport and Tourism. The ministry, entrusted with the critical task of overseeing aviation safety in Japan, launched a series of surprise inspections targeting JAL's operations. These inspections, far from routine, signalled a heightened level of concern and a commitment to uncovering the root causes of the incidents. The ministry's proactive approach underscored the seriousness of the situation, sending a clear message that safety deviations would not be tolerated. The world watched with bated breath as investigators delved into JAL's maintenance logs, pilot training records and safety protocols. The airline, once a symbol of operational excellence, now faced a battle to restore its tarnished reputation and regain the trust that it painstakingly built over decades. The outcome of these investigations would have far-reaching implications, not only for JAL, but for the entire aviation industry. The first tremor that shook JAL's image came in the form of a near-miss incident over northern Japan. A Boeing 777 en route to Tokyo experienced a sudden loss of altitude, coming dangerously close to the ground before the pilots managed to regain control. Initial reports suggested a possible autopilot malfunction, but the incident sent chills down the spines of aviation experts, prompting calls for a thorough investigation. Adding fuel to the fire, a second incident occurred just weeks later, this time involving a Boeing 767 on approach to Osaka International Airport. The aircraft, carrying over 200 passengers, deviated from its assigned glide path, triggering a collision avoidance system alert. The pilots, responding swiftly to the automated warnings, initiated a go-around maneuver, narrowly averting a potential disaster. These incidents, though unrelated, exposed potential weaknesses in JAL's operational safety net. The recurring theme of autopilot anomalies raised concerns about the airline's maintenance practices and the potential for systemic issues. The proximity of these incidents, occurring within such a short time frame, amplified the sense of urgency, prompting the MLIT to take immediate action. The ministry's decision to launch surprise inspections sent a clear message: JAL was under the microscope. No longer could the airline rely on its past reputation as a shield. The incidents had exposed vulnerabilities, cracks in the seemingly impenetrable hull of JAL's safety culture. The world watched, waiting to see if these cracks were isolated incidents or symptomatic of a deeper malaise. The MLIT, determined to get to the bottom of the incidents, deployed teams of inspectors to JAL's hubs across Japan. These inspections, conducted without prior warning, aimed to provide a snapshot of the airline's operations in real time, unfiltered by any pre-inspection preparations. The inspectors, armed with checklists and a mandate to leave no stone unturned, fanned out across hangars, maintenance facilities, and even the cockpits of JAL aircraft. Maintenance records, the lifeblood of aircraft safety, came under particular scrutiny. Inspectors meticulously reviewed logs, cross-checking entries against actual maintenance performed. They examined work orders, looking for discrepancies, oversights, or any indication of shortcuts taken. The pressure was on, every signature, every timestamp, a potential clue in the investigation. Pilot training programs, another critical element of aviation safety, also fell under the microscope. Inspectors sat in on simulator sessions, observing pilots' reactions to emergency scenarios, their decision-making processes, and their adherence to standard operating procedures. They reviewed training records, ensuring pilots had received the necessary recurrent training and were up to date on the latest safety bulletins and procedures. The scope of the inspections went beyond physical checks and record reviews. Inspectors interviewed maintenance personnel, probing their understanding of safety protocols, their workload, and any pressures they faced to cut corners. They spoke to pilots, seeking insights into the airline's safety culture, their level of confidence in the maintenance department, and any concerns they might have. As the inspections progressed, a pattern began to emerge, a narrative woven from minor discrepancies, oversights, and a gradual erosion of safety margins. While no smoking gun, no single catastrophic failure was uncovered, the cumulative effect of these findings painted a worrying picture of a system under strain. Inspectors discovered instances where maintenance tasks, though documented as complete, had not been performed to the required standards. In some cases, parts were replaced but not properly calibrated, while in others critical inspections were overlooked or delayed. These lapses, though seemingly minor in isolation, represented cracks in the system, deviations from the rigorous standards that define aviation safety. The pressure to maintain on-time performance, a key metric in the competitive airline industry, appeared to be a contributing factor to these lapses. Inspectors found evidence of maintenance crews feeling rushed, pressured to sign off on tasks without adequate time for thorough checks. This pressure, often unspoken but ever present, created an environment where safety margins could be eroded, albeit gradually and often unintentionally. The investigation also revealed shortcomings in communication and coordination between maintenance crews and flight crews. In several instances, maintenance issues identified by pilots were not properly documented or addressed by maintenance personnel. This breakdown in communication, a critical vulnerability in any complex system, highlighted the need for improved information flow and a more collaborative approach to safety. The findings, though troubling, did not point to any malicious intent or deliberate disregard for safety. Instead, they suggested a gradual drift, a slow erosion of standards, perhaps driven by a combination of factors, budgetary constraints, staffing issues, and the relentless pressure to maintain operational efficiency. As news of the inspections and their findings trickled out, the public reacted with a mixture of concern and anger. JAL, once a source of national pride, now faced a barrage of negative headlines and a crisis of confidence. Passengers accustomed to associating JAL with impeccable safety felt betrayed, their trust shaken by the revelations of lapses and oversights. The airline's initial response did little to quell the storm. Public statements, while acknowledging the seriousness of the situation, came across as defensive, lacking the transparency and contrition that the public craved. The absence of a clear and decisive plan to address the underlying issues further fueled the perception that JAL was more concerned with protecting its image than with taking responsibility for its shortcomings. Adding to the public relations nightmare, several high-profile figures, including politicians and industry analysts, publicly criticized JAL's handling of the situation. These criticisms, amplified by the relentless churn of the 24-hour news cycle, further eroded public trust, casting a long shadow over the airline's future prospects. The financial implications of the crisis became readily apparent. JAL's stock price plummeted, wiping out billions of dollars in market value. Bookings declined sharply as passengers, their confidence shaken, opted for alternative carriers, even if it meant paying a premium for peace of mind. The once mighty JAL, now grounded by a crisis of its own making, faced an uphill battle to regain its footing. The JAL saga sent ripples throughout the global aviation industry. Airlines around the world, watching the unfolding drama with a mixture of concern and self-preservation, found themselves under increased scrutiny. Regulators, spurred by the JAL incident, launched reviews of their own oversight procedures, looking for any weaknesses that might allow similar lapses to occur on their watch. The International Air Transport Association, or IATA, the global trade association for the airline industry, issued a statement urging airlines to review their safety management systems and to reinforce the importance of a strong safety culture. The incident served as a stark reminder that even the most reputable airlines, with seemingly impeccable safety records, were not immune to the insidious creep of complacency. The JAL case also highlighted the critical role of national aviation authorities in ensuring safety. The MLIT's swift and decisive action, though belated in the eyes of some critics, demonstrated the importance of a robust regulatory framework and a willingness to hold airlines accountable, regardless of their reputation or past performance. The incident sparked a global conversation about the pressures facing the aviation industry, particularly the delicate balance between maintaining profitability and upholding the highest safety standards. Some experts argued that the relentless pursuit of efficiency, driven by competition and shareholder demands, had created an environment where safety margins were being gradually eroded. In the aftermath of the JL incidents, a chorus of voices emerged calling for greater transparency and accountability in the aviation industry. Passengers, shaken by the revelations, demanded more information about airlines' safety records, maintenance practices, and pilot training programs. They wanted to be able to make informed decisions about which airlines to fly, based not just on price and convenience, but on a clear understanding of the risks involved. The call for transparency extended beyond airlines to encompass regulators as well. Critics argued that aviation authorities needed to be more open about their oversight activities, publishing more detailed inspection reports and making it easier for the public to access information about airlines' safety records. This increased transparency, they argued, would not only empower passengers but also serve as a powerful incentive for airlines to prioritize safety. Some industry experts proposed the creation of a global aviation safety database, a centralized repository of information about airlines' safety records, incidents, and regulatory actions. Such a database, accessible to the public, would provide a level playing field, allowing passengers to compare airlines based on objective safety data. The JAL incidents, in a strange twist of fate, could become a catalyst for positive change, prompting a long overdue conversation about transparency and accountability in the aviation industry. The challenge for airlines and regulators alike would be to translate this newfound awareness into tangible improvements in safety, culture, and practices. As JL grappled with the fallout from the safety incidents, the airline faced an uncertain future. The road to redemption would be long and arduous, requiring a fundamental shift in corporate culture, a renewed commitment to safety, and a willingness to regain the trust of both the public and the regulators. The airline announced a series of measures aimed at addressing the issues identified by the MLIT inspections. These measures included increased investment in maintenance and training, a comprehensive review of safety management systems, and the creation of a new safety oversight committee composed of both internal and external experts. JAL also embarked on a public relations offensive, seeking to rebuild its tarnished image. The airline launched advertising campaigns emphasizing its commitment to safety, held press conferences to update the public on its progress, and engaged in dialogue with passenger advocacy groups. Whether these efforts would be enough to restore JAL's reputation remained to be seen. The airline faced an uphill battle, not only in terms of regaining public trust, but also in overcoming the financial impact of the crisis. The road ahead would be challenging, but the airline's survival depended on its ability to learn from its mistakes and emerge as a safer and more transparent organization. The JAL incidents served as a stark reminder that aviation safety is not a destination but a journey, a continuous process of improvement, adaptation and vigilance. The incidents, though damaging to JAL's reputation, had the potential to be a turning point for the industry, a catalyst for positive change that could lead to a safer tomorrow. The increased scrutiny on airline safety practices, while uncomfortable in the short term, could lead to long-term improvements in safety culture and practices. Airlines, under pressure from regulators, passengers and shareholders, would be compelled to prioritize safety, investing in better training, more rigorous maintenance, and a more robust safety management system. The JAL incidents also highlighted the importance of a strong safety culture, one where everyone from the CTO to the baggage handlers understands their role in maintaining safety and feels empowered to speak up when they see something that could jeopardize safety. Creating such a culture requires a top-down commitment, open communication, and a willingness to learn from mistakes. The JAL saga, though painful, could ultimately serve as a valuable learning experience for the entire aviation industry. By studying the factors that contributed to the incidents and the lessons learned, the industry could emerge stronger, more resilient, and better equipped to uphold the sacred promise of safe air travel. The JAL incidents provided a wealth of lessons for the aviation industry, lessons that extended beyond the technical aspects of aircraft maintenance and pilot training. The incidents highlighted the importance of human factors, organizational culture, and the need for constant vigilance in an industry where even the smallest lapse can have catastrophic consequences. One of the key takeaways from the JAL case was the importance of a strong safety culture. A robust safety culture is not something that can be imposed from above. It must be nurtured from within, fostered through open communication, mutual respect, and a shared commitment to safety as the paramount value. Another important lesson was the need for effective communication between all stakeholders in the aviation system. This includes not only communication between pilots and maintenance crews, but also communication between airlines and regulators and between airlines and the public. Transparency and trust are essential for a safe and efficient aviation system. The JAL incidents also underscored the importance of continuous improvement. The aviation industry cannot afford to rest on its laurels. As technology evolves and the operating environment changes, airlines and regulators must constantly strive to improve safety, seeking out new and innovative ways to mitigate risks and prevent accidents. The JAL saga, though a difficult chapter in the history of aviation, could ultimately serve as a catalyst for positive change. By learning from the mistakes of the past and embracing a culture of safety, the industry could emerge stronger and more resilient, ensuring that the skies remain a safe and efficient mode of transportation for generations to come.